Hello people, I'm the Comic Book Gamer, and today we're going to be talking about the current Nightwing story that's going on, as well as playing some challenge maps to try to get all three on the challenge maps with Nightwing. So anyways, Nightwing is not having a good go in the comics right now. He was doing great when we had Benjamin Pierce writing him and Sam Humphries before that. Now we got Scott Lobdell writing a story that Tom King started, and just it's not very good. I don't know whose idea it was for the story, if Tom King had the idea because he's not writing, he just wrote like the first issue of it, or if like someone at DC Editorial pitched it, like if this is a Dan DiDio idea or what. It's weird because we've had 3 different writers write this story, so it doesn't seem like anyone had the idea for it. It just kind of happened, which is weird. So yeah, so if you don't know what's been going on with Nightwing, he got shot in the head by KG Beast in an issue of Batman written by Tom King. And then after that, Batman almost killed KGB. KG Beast. Yeah, he pretty much did. We don't know if it's confirmed he killed him or not. I don't know if they've said anything after it because I don't keep up with Batman. I just read it every now and again. So Batman went, hunted KG Beast down, and then hit him straight like in the jaw with a bat claw, and that caused his neck to snap. And then he left him in the freezing cold and would not go get help for him. He said he could go get his own help. So that was interesting and very Batman-like. He's left KG Beast to die before. So KG Beast is left in the snow, and that was his revenge for Dick Grayson. But anyways, back to Dick Grayson. What's going on with him is he got shot in the head, and he wakes up with amnesia, and he wants to be called Rick Grayson now. He does not like being called Dick Grayson. He's actually a pouty little baby about it. Just like, I'm not Rick Grayson. I'm not Dick Grayson. I'm Rick Grayson. These people only like Dick Grayson. They don't love me for who I am. They like this guy, and I'm clearly a different person now that I woke up with amnesia. How dare they be so shallow and like that guy? So he's just basically pouting throughout the whole time. Now he likes to like start bar fights and drink and stuff, and that's like who he is now. He's no longer Dick Grayson. He's Rick Grayson. He pushed out like Barbara and Alfred out of his life, and he does his own thing now. Now he's just like this weird grizzled dude. It's kind of reminds me of Superman Truth a little bit because they both got like shaved heads and started wearing like t-shirts and stuff, so it's kind of weird, but that's how it is, and it's annoying, and I don't like it. So Nightwing, well, Rick Grayson was told all about him being Nightwing and like being Batman's sidekick and all this stuff, and he knows all about that world, and he's like, I want nothing to do with it. Screw that, that's not who I am. So he goes and he burns down his little Nightwing lair, but he actually burned down nothing. It like didn't do anything. All it did was attract some cops. So this one cop investigates, and he's like, oh, it's Nightwing's suit. He's like, we need Nightwing back because crime has skyrocketed or whatever, Nightwing's absence, and there's no one to stop him, and cops are being held back, you know, the normal spiel. So he takes Nightwing's suit, and he has a bunch of buddies that are cops, and like one dude that's a firefighter. He's like, you guys should be Nightwings with me, and we can patrol the city and be cool and stuff. And so they do that, and now they're roaming around as Nightwing, and Nightwing's like, okay, fine by me, because that means that I don't have to worry about being Nightwing. No one's going to bug me. These guys can do whatever they want. I don't care. I'm going to live my life as Rick Grayson. So as part of his whole getting shot in the head thing, he has to take therapy because, you know, they don't want a dude that's been through a traumatic... That ruined my perfect score. That's great. For never getting hit. That's cool. Even though I dodged out of the way of it. This game's got me pissed off. Anyways, that's so stupid. I was dodging out of the way. He just comes and hits me. Ah! That just, stuff like that just pisses me off about City. That's why you gotta do stupid crap to dodge him. That was, now I lost my whole train of thought. Anyways, like I said, Nightwing, well, Rick Grayson has to go to therapy because he's been through this traumatic experience, getting shot in the head, waking up with no memories, and so they don't want this guy going out and like shooting up a school or something. So like mandatory blah 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 therapy until you get cleared by the therapist. That hit me. Okay, this game just doesn't want me to hold a combo. So he goes, and his therapist is Scarecrow, except he's no longer going by Jonathan Crane. He's got a new alias. I have no clue how he got cleared or like how he did like the vetting process for being a therapist. It must be like BetterHelp or something. I don't know, because like there was no vetting process. He easily became a therapist with a new name. Like no one, and it wouldn't let me go over there stun him. Cool. This game right now is pissing me off. But yeah, so he wasn't able to. He's a therapist now. I'm losing my train of thought because this game pissed me off. So let me take this dude down. And so he's giving these therapy sessions to Rick Grayson. And Rick Grayson's like, I'm not afraid of anything. And Scarecrow is like, oh yeah, I once knew a boy like that. And then we see he's having like flashbacks of Robin. He's thinking of Dick Grayson. So now this Scarecrow, Scott Lobdell's Scarecrow, is like obsessed with Nightwing. He's arguably the most interesting part of his Nightwing run so far. I haven't been a big fan of like any of it really, but Scarecrow is the most interesting part. Like he's now obsessed with Dick Grayson because Dick Grayson was like the one person he met that had no fear, and especially because he's this little child. So that's what really made him interesting to him, was like a kid with no fear. He's like, that's insane. And so he clears Rick Grayson, and we see that he's obsessed with Nightwing. That's why he came to Bloodhaven, because he wants to help Bloodhaven get over its fear. He used to think that people with no fear were bad, but now he's like, oh, I see. It's a good thing for whatever reason. And so it's interesting, and that's where like the last issue ended, was him holding like a Nightwing Funko Pops, talking about how maybe having no fear ain't a bad thing. And that's where we're left at. The series is like, it's typical Scott Lobdell in the fact that Scott Lobdell is annoyingly mediocre, like consistently mediocre. He's never like so bad where it's like Heroes in Crisis bad, where it's just super painful to read, but it's never like good to where it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta read the next issue. It's always just, this is just so mediocre. It's just like, like you're not super outraged about it. You're just like, man, this could be so much better. At least that's how I feel. I mean, I am outraged at the whole Rick Grayson stuff. It's so retarded. But that's not Scott Lobdell's fault. I'm 100% sure he didn't pitch this. But I do think it's kind of stupid that he's in charge of writing Nightwing and Red Hood, like the two big sidekicks of Batman. Why does he get to write both those guys? I wish someone else would be writing them, because I've never really been the biggest fan of Scott Lobdell. He wrote Superman for a bit in the New 52, for a long while in the New 52 actually, and it was just painful. It was bad. Like, well, actually, again, it wasn't that bad. It was just like really mediocre. It was the only good issue I can recall was I think like issue 20, somewhere around there, where Orion showed up, and it was pretty cool. But besides that, they had like a cool fight with some really good art by what's his name? He's the guy who's on the Greg Pak run. I can't remember his name. I had some really good art by him though. He's a Marvel artist now. And yeah, I'm getting sidetracked. Basically, I wish Scott Lobdell wasn't writing Nightwing. Benjamin Piercy was doing a great job, and then they had him write the first issue of the story arc for whatever reason, and now he's gone. I don't get that. I don't know what he's writing now. I don't know if maybe he like got out of DC or something. I haven't paid attention to what Benjamin Piercy's been doing. He was writing Green Arrow, then moved to Nightwing. Now I'm not sure what he's doing, but it sucks that he's gone, because he really got Nightwing. He did some really good storylines. He did a really good like tech storyline. Then he did a filler storyline that was Death Race but with Nightwing, and it was really interesting. And I just really liked what he did, but he had such a short run. Just like Sam Humphries did a great job right before Benjamin Piercy, but he was just like the fill-in, because they're like, okay, Benjamin Piercy is going to be the new writer, but like we still need a little time in between transitions. Sam Humphries, you'll write in between that time. So he came in and he wrote one of my favorite Nightwing stories in years. It was really good. And then they're like, okay, here's Benjamin Piercy. It seemed like he was going to be the writer to stay. He came in, did a great job. And they're like, okay, now Dick Grayson's shot in the head, because who knows why. I don't think Tom King pitched this idea. I think it was just like Dan DiDio or someone at DC Editorial was just like, we haven't had a traumatic experience with Dick Grayson in a while. So I guess it's time for him to have a traumatic experience, like during the whole Agent Spiral stuff. I actually liked the Agent Grayson stuff. I thought it was good. I much prefer him as Nightwing, don't get me wrong. But it was a nice just little change of pace. Like, okay, now he's an agent for like 30 issues or however long. Now he's back to Nightwing. I know that in no time he'll be back to being Nightwing. I thought my counter would take me past that. But it was just, it's just annoying, these waiting periods. Like when a character dies, like when Wolverine died, you're like, I know he's gonna be back in no time, but like, I just wish they wouldn't have killed him off in the first place, all things considered. Same with here, it's like, I know he's gonna be Dick Grayson in like no time, but still, I don't want to have to wait. Just have him be Nightwing already. I don't think anyone's enjoying the storyline either. Like, generally when something like this happens, you'll have a niche crowd that is like, oh, I enjoy this, you're just a hater. But I haven't seen any of this from the Rick Grayson stuff. I haven't seen anyone being like, oh, it's actually good, you just don't like it. I've seen everyone just being like, yeah, it's not very good. I don't get how Scott Lobdell always gets these writing jobs either. Like, in my opinion, he's not that great from what I've read. Maybe he's written some really good other stuff, but mostly from what I've read, he's not terrible, but he's just consistently mediocre, and that's how I feel, and that's how he is with Nightwing right now. And I just feel like we could have gotten someone way better. Maybe ask Sam Humphries to come back after Benjamin Piercy left. I don't know. Gotten someone. Anyone. But, yeah. That's how I feel about this whole Nightwing situation. It sucks because he was doing so good, like, for a time, just like with Superman, when we had Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason writing, and it was so good, then Bendis came in, and now it's not so good. With this, it was like Nightwing was doing so good with Sam Humphries, and then Benjamin Piercy, and now it's not so good with Scott Lobdell, and just be interesting seeing how he does with, once he's actually Nightwing again, because thank God he made Red Hood a solo book, because Red Hood and the Outlaws, we went on for too long. I still wish someone else was writing Red Hood, but at least now it's a solo book, which is what I've always been clamoring for forever. I made a video a while ago talking about how DC should have some faith in Red Hood and give him a solo series. Thank God now they did, and I added it to my pull list because of that, and it's been okay ever since then. Like, it's kind of been boring. I haven't read the newest issue, though. I just got it the other day, so I need to read it. But, yeah. If you guys have any thoughts on this, please let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of what's going on with Nightwing right now? I think most people are in the same boat of it not being very good. Also, if there's a comic that you want me to talk about in my next Arkham video, let me know also in the comments below. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Please give the video a like if you did, and I'll see you later.